ever felt like your business completely depends on you? And the second you step away, everything starts falling apart. I went through the exact same thing when I first started out. I was working non-stop, thinking I was building a business, but really I had just built myself another job. I'm going to show you how to turn systems into profits so your business can grow, scale, and make money, even when you're not there. You'll learn the exact steps to build processes that save time, reduce stress, and allow you to finally focus on growth instead of putting out fires. Most entrepreneurs start their business with a big dream: freedom, flexibility, and financial independence. But very quickly they realize that instead of owning a business, they've just created another job for themselves. Only this time they're the boss, the employee, the accountant, the marketer, the customer service rep, and the janitor all in one. The problem is that the business can't function without them. Everything grinds to a halt if they step away, even for a short time. This bottleneck isn't always obvious at first because in the early days, wearing multiple hats feels necessary. But as the business grows, that dependence on the owner becomes a major roadblock. Clients expect you personally, projects stall without your approval, and team members wait for instructions instead of taking initiative. The stress compounds because every task, big or small, funnels through you. That lack of systems keeps you trapped, unable to scale and unable to enjoy the freedom you set out to achieve. The solution is to start by identifying where the real bottleneck exists. Most business owners assume it's a lack of resources, money, or people, but in reality, it's usually the lack of clarity in processes. When nothing is standardized, every decision depends on you. The first step is to take a hard look at your daily operations and ask where does work consistently slow down? Is it approvals, communication breakdowns, or rework due to unclear instructions? Pinpointing those friction points allows you to see where systems need to be built. Once you know what's holding things up, you can begin documenting it. That doesn't mean writing a 200-page manual nobody reads. It means creating simple, repeatable workflows that remove guesswork. Think of it as building a playbook for your business where everyone knows their role, their responsibility, and the exact steps to follow without asking you for permission at every turn. Take, for example, a small marketing agency. The founder does everything: meeting clients, drafting proposals, running ads, designing graphics, even sending invoices. At first, this hustle works, but when the client list grows, deadlines get missed, and the founder feels burned out. The bottleneck is obvious: nothing gets done without their direct involvement. To solve this, they start small by identifying one recurring task that eats up their time, say client onboarding. Every new client requires the same process: gathering information, setting up accounts, and sending a welcome package. Instead of reinventing the wheel each time the founder documents the process. Step 1, you send the intake form. Step 2, collect branding assets. Step 3, schedule the kickoff call. With this checklist in place, a team member can handle onboarding with zero guesswork. Suddenly, the founder frees up hours each week, and the client experience actually improves because it's consistent and professional. The power of solving bottlenecks in this way is exponential. Once one process is systemized, it creates momentum to tackle the next one. Each bottleneck you remove reduces your involvement and increases efficiency. The agency owner eventually does the same for ad reporting, then for proposal writing, and finally for invoicing. Instead of being the single point of contact for everything, the founder now oversees the system while the team executes. This shift transforms the business from a chaotic hustle into a well-oiled machine. What was once a source of stress now becomes a source of profits because clients are happier, operations are smoother, and the business can handle more work without burning out the owner. One of the biggest challenges entrepreneurs face as they grow is that so much of what happens in their business exists only in their heads. They know how to do every task, from responding to customers to fulfilling orders, but nobody else knows it the same way. This creates confusion for team members who are left guessing, asking questions, or making mistakes. The lack of documented processes not only slows things down, but also causes frustration. Employees feel like they're constantly being micromanaged or scolded for not doing things the right way, even though the right way was never written down. This problem escalates as the business expands because every new hire adds more opportunities for inconsistency. Instead of saving time, you end up spending even more time correcting errors, retraining, and repeating instructions. The business becomes dependent on memory rather than systems, and that dependency keeps you locked into the same cycle of overload. The solution is to begin documenting repeatable processes in a simple, practical way. This doesn't mean writing an overwhelming manual that collects dust on a shelf. It means capturing the essential steps of tasks that happen regularly and creating a reference that anyone on your team can follow. Start by asking yourself, what do I do more than once a week? Those tasks are prime candidates for documentation because they consume valuable time and brain power. The idea is to free yourself from reinventing the wheel every time. A good process document is clear, concise, and easy to understand. It can be as simple as a checklist, a flowchart, or even a short screen recording showing how to complete the task. The goal is consistency. When your processes are documented, your team knows exactly what to do, how to do it, and in what order. This reduces errors, saves time, and builds confidence because they no longer have to guess. Consider an example of an e-commerce store owner. Every time an order comes in, they personally check the payment, confirm the shipping address, print the label, package the product, and send a tracking email. For a handful of orders, this isn't a problem, but as sales increase, it becomes unsustainable. The bottleneck isn't just the volume, it's that the owner hasn't documented the process in a way someone else can replicate. To fix this, they sit down and write out the steps in order. Step 1. Log into the payment portal and verify payment. Step 2. Confirm the customer's shipping address matches the order. Step 3. Print the label using the integrated shipping software. Step 4. Package the product securely and attach the label. Step 5. Update the order status and trigger the automated tracking email. They pair this with screenshots and a short video walkthrough. Now, instead of being the only one who knows how to handle fulfillment, they can hand it off to an assistant or warehouse worker. The task no longer depends on their time or attention, yet the quality and accuracy remain the same. This simple act of documenting processes has a ripple effect. Not only does it free up the owner's time, but it also improves the customer experience. Orders go out faster, mistakes are minimized, and employees feel empowered to take ownership without constantly asking for approval. It also prepares the business for growth because when the team expands, training new hires becomes a matter of handing them the process playbook rather than shadowing for weeks. Each documented process is like installing a building block that strengthens the foundation of the business. Instead of chaos, there's structure. Instead of micromanagement, there's empowerment. And instead of relying on memory, the business runs on systems that can be repeated, refined, and scaled over time. One of the most common problems business owners face is getting stuck doing repetitive tasks that eat up valuable time and energy. Whether it's sending out invoices, scheduling appointments, posting to social media, or following up with leads, these activities may be necessary, but they don't always require your personal involvement. The issue is that many entrepreneurs continue to handle them manually because that's the way they've always done it, or because they think automation is too complex or expensive. Over time, this becomes a massive drain. Hours that could be spent on strategy, innovation, or growth are instead consumed by small, repetitive tasks that can easily be automated. Not only does this slow down progress, but it also increases the risk of human error. A missed email, a forgotten follow-up, or a miscalculated invoice can cost opportunities and credibility. Without automation, you remain trapped in the cycle of busy work, unable to scale without burning out. The solution is to leverage tools and technology that can handle these repetitive tasks for you. Automation doesn't have to be complicated. It starts with identifying areas of your business where the same action is being performed again and again. If it's repetitive, it's a candidate for automation. This could include email marketing, customer service responses, appointment scheduling, bookkeeping, or even data entry. By introducing automation tools, you create systems that work in the background, ensuring consistency and accuracy while freeing up your time for higher value activities. The goal isn't to eliminate the human touch, but to remove the unnecessary manual steps that slow you down. Modern automation tools are affordable, user-friendly, and often integrate seamlessly with the platforms you already use. The key is to start small, choose one area, set up automation, and gradually expand as you see results. Take the example of a small coaching business. The owner spends hours each week emailing clients back and forth to set appointments, manually sending reminders, and chasing down late payments. These tasks are exhausting and prevent them from focusing on delivering great coaching sessions or creating new programs. The solution comes when they decide to implement automation. First, they adopt an online scheduling tool that allows clients to book appointments based on the coach's availability, automatically syncing with their calendar. No more back and forth emails. Then they set up automated reminders that go out via email or text 24 hours before the session, drastically reducing no-shows. For payments, they integrate an invoicing system that automatically sends out invoices and reminders for overdue payments. They also add an email marketing tool that nurtures leads with pre-written sequences, saving hours of manual follow-up. Suddenly, what once took hours each week now happens automatically. The coach doesn't have to lift a finger for these tasks, yet the business operates more smoothly and professionally than before. The impact of this kind of automation goes beyond saving time. It creates a more consistent experience for clients, which builds trust and satisfaction. Automated systems don't forget to send reminders, don't skip steps, and don't make errors from fatigue. They operate around the clock, making your business more reliable and scalable. For the business owner, this shift creates breathing room. Instead of juggling dozens of small tasks, they can focus on activities that truly drive growth, like refining their programs, building partnerships, or exploring new markets. Over time, automation becomes a silent team member, working tirelessly in the background and ensuring the business runs smoothly. By reducing manual workload, eliminating mistakes, and freeing up mental bandwidth, automation turns everyday operations into profit, generating systems that scale without stress. One of the biggest problems entrepreneurs run into as they try to scale is their hesitation or inability to delegate effectively. Many business owners fall into the trap of believing that nobody can do the job as well as they can, so they hang on to every responsibility. While this might work in the very beginning, it quickly becomes a roadblock when the workload grows. The owner ends up buried under tasks, working long hours, and micromanaging every detail. Instead of building a team that can operate independently, they create a culture where employees are either underutilized or constantly waiting for instructions. This not only drains the owner's time and energy, but also stifles the team's potential. Staff members feel untrusted, disengaged, and unmotivated because they're not given the responsibility or authority to make decisions. The end result is a business that stalls in growth, heavily dependent on one person and prone to burnout. The solution is to delegate strategically and effectively. Delegation isn't about dumping tasks you dislike onto others, nor is it about micromanaging from afar. It's about assigning the right responsibilities to the right people, clearly communicating expectations, and empowering them with the authority to execute. Effective delegation starts with identifying which tasks truly require your involvement and which ones can be handled by someone else. Ask yourself, does this task require my unique skill, vision, or decision-making power? If not, it's a candidate for delegation. Once you identify these tasks, the next step is to match them to the strengths and skills of your team. Delegation works best when people are assigned responsibilities that align with their abilities and allow them to grow. To ensure success, you need to provide clear instructions, set measurable outcomes, and establish accountability without hovering over every move. The focus should be on results rather than methods, giving your team the freedom to find efficient ways to achieve the goal. Consider the example of a digital marketing agency owner who manages everything, from client meetings to running ads, designing graphics, and preparing reports. The workload becomes overwhelming, and deadlines start slipping. Realizing this isn't sustainable, the owner decides to delegate. They begin by breaking down tasks into categories: client communication, creative work, and technical execution. Client strategy is something the owner feels strongly about handling personally, but campaign setup and report preparation are areas that can be delegated. They assign ad campaign execution to a skilled team member, giving them clear guidelines and performance metrics. Reporting is delegated to another employee, along with a template to maintain consistency. To make delegation effective, the owner schedules weekly check-ins to review results rather than micromanaging every step. Over time, the team becomes more confident and proactive. They take ownership of their roles, improve processes, and even come up with new ideas the owner hadn't considered. The business grows because the owner can now focus on higher-level strategy and client relationships while the team handles execution smoothly. Delegation in this way transforms the entire dynamic of the business. Instead of one overworked person trying to juggle everything, the workload is distributed across capable hands. The team feels trusted and empowered, leading to higher motivation and better performance. The owner experiences less stress and gains back precious time to think strategically, innovate, or even take a break without the fear that everything will collapse in their absence. Most importantly, the business becomes scalable. With systems for delegation in place, new team members can be integrated more easily, responsibilities can be shifted as needed, and the company can handle increased demand without burning out the leader. Effective delegation is not about losing control, but about creating a structure where everyone contributes to growth, and the business runs as a collective effort rather than a one-person show. A common problem many businesses face once they've started to systemize and delegate is that they don't track whether those systems are actually working. Owners often assume that just because a process has been documented or delegated, it will run smoothly forever. But the reality is that without measuring and monitoring, inefficiencies creep in. Tasks take longer than expected, mistakes repeat, and team members develop their own variations that may not align with the company's goals. Over time, the lack of measurement creates blind spots where money is being wasted, productivity is slipping, and opportunities for growth are being missed. Without metrics, you can't see which systems are profitable, which are draining resources, or which need improvement. This creates a dangerous illusion of stability where things seem fine on the surface but inefficiencies silently erode profits. Business owners who ignore measurement often find themselves frustrated when results don't match expectations, yet they can't pinpoint why. The solution lies in creating a habit of measuring and optimizing. Every system you build should have clear performance indicators that can be tracked consistently. These could be time-based, like how long it takes to complete a task, or outcome-based, like conversion rates or customer satisfaction scores. By setting benchmarks and reviewing results regularly, you can quickly identify where things are breaking down or where improvements can be made. Optimization doesn't have to mean overhauling everything. It's about making small, consistent adjustments that improve efficiency and profitability. When you measure, you move from guesswork to data-driven decisions. This allows you to focus resources on what works, cut what doesn't, and refine processes so they become leaner and more effective over time. For example, imagine a subscription box company that ships monthly packages to customers. The owner believes their fulfillment system is solid because the team knows the steps and orders go out on time. But when they start tracking key metrics, They realize that packaging takes an average of 25 minutes per order, far longer than it should. They also discover that error rates, like missing items, are higher than expected, resulting in refunds and unhappy customers. By measuring these inefficiencies, they uncover a costly problem that wasn't obvious before. To optimize, they adjust the workflow by organizing inventory more efficiently, introducing a quality check step earlier in the process, and providing clearer packing checklists. They also test out small automation tools for printing shipping labels faster. After implementing these changes, packaging time drops to 12 minutes per order, errors decrease by half, and customer satisfaction improves noticeably. The system hasn't been completely reinvented. It's just been refined through measurement and optimization. This approach turns systems into living, evolving parts of the business rather than rigid structures. Each time you measure, you gain insight into how your operations are actually performing. Optimization becomes a cycle measure: adjust, improve, and repeat. This cycle ensures that your business isn't just running on autopilot, but is continuously getting better and more profitable. Employees also benefit because clear metrics help them understand what success looks like and give them targets to aim for. They feel more accountable and motivated when progress is visible. For the owner, measuring and optimizing creates peace of mind because decisions are based on facts, not assumptions. It prevents the business from stagnating and keeps growth sustainable, even as complexity increases. By embedding measurement into every system, you ensure that small problems are caught early, resources are used efficiently, and your business continues to scale with less stress and more profit. One of the most frustrating problems business owners encounter is realizing that even after building systems, delegating tasks, and adding automation, the business still depends too heavily on it. They may have improved efficiency, but if the owner takes a step back, things start to slow down or in some cases completely stall. This happens because while individual processes may be documented and optimized, the business hasn't yet reached the point where it can operate as a self-sustaining model. In other words, the parts work, but the whole system still requires constant supervision. This keeps the owner trapped in the same cycle of being indispensable, unable to fully enjoy the freedom or scalability they hope for. The business looks like it's functioning independently, but without the owner's guidance and decision-making, cracks begin to appear. This dependency creates stress, limits growth potential, and prevents the company from thriving in the long term. The solution is to build a business model that truly sustains itself, one that can run smoothly without constant input from the owner. This requires integrating all the systems you've created into a cohesive structure where roles, responsibilities, and workflows are interconnected. Instead of relying on the owner to tie everything together, the model itself provides clarity and direction. This includes establishing clear leadership within the team, creating decision-making frameworks so employees don't always need approval, and ensuring that systems are aligned with the larger vision of the company. Building a self-sustaining model also means planning for continuity. This could involve cross-training team members so no single task is dependent on one person, creating dashboards that give real-time visibility into performance, and establishing a culture where accountability is shared. When the model is built correctly, the business doesn't just survive the owner's absence, it continues to grow and improve. Take the example of a boutique fitness studio. The founder is passionate about coaching, but they also handle scheduling, marketing, payroll, and customer service. Even after creating checklists and automating some of the booking and billing processes, the studio still relies on the founder to make key decisions every day. When they take a short vacation, confusion arises, classes are rescheduled poorly, new leads don't get follow-ups, and staff members aren't sure how to handle customer complaints. Recognizing this, the founder decides to build a self-sustaining model. They appoint a studio manager with clear authority to oversee daily operations and make client-related decisions. They implement a reporting system where class attendance, revenue, and customer feedback are tracked automatically and shared with the team weekly. They also establish a marketing calendar that runs on pre-planned campaigns, so promotions don't rely on last-minute brainstorming. To ensure continuity, they cross-train instructors to handle administrative tasks when needed. Over time, the studio evolves into a business that runs smoothly whether the founder is present or not. Customers experience consistent service, employees know their roles, and the owner can focus on expansion or even take time off without worrying about collapse. What makes this transformation powerful is that it shifts the mindset from running a collection of systems to running a complete, independent business machine. A self-sustaining model is not about removing the owner entirely, but about elevating them to a position where they guide vision and strategy rather than micromanaging operations. It creates resilience because the business is no longer vulnerable to one person's time, energy, or presence. It also makes scaling possible because the same model can be replicated in new locations, markets, or product lines. Employees feel more confident when they have structure and authority, and customers benefit from consistent experiences regardless of who is on duty. By building a self-sustaining model, a business finally achieves the promise of scaling without stress, turning systems and delegation into long-term profitability and freedom. We started by identifying the core bottlenecks that keep businesses stuck, showing how relying too heavily on the owner kills growth. Then we looked at documenting repeatable processes so that no task lives only in your head. From there, we explored the power of automation, using tools that save time, reduce mistakes, and allow your systems to run on autopilot. Next, we focused on effective delegation, shifting from micromanagement to empowering your team with responsibility and clarity. After that, we highlighted the importance of measuring and optimizing, turning guesswork into data-driven improvements. Finally, we tied it all together by building a self-sustaining model, a business that can grow and thrive without your constant presence. Together, these steps transform chaos into order, stress into freedom, and effort into scalable profits. If you found this valuable, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and drop a comment with your biggest takeaway.